This better not act stupid.
Let me see if I'm getting the notification. We're definitely live, by the way.
Oh, we are?
Yeah. One of us should really learn how to edit videos.
I know. Yeah, right. Yeah, let's try. Let's give it a whirl. I don't have the software, but I just, oh God, sorry. Here we go. Here comes our entrance, our grand entrance.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so I see, oh, hi everybody. Hi everyone. There's plenty of people in the chat right now already. Hello.
Hello, hello. So welcome to channel 27. I'm Heidi. This is Jenny Moonstone. If you don't know us already. So today we're gonna do some readings. We're gonna give some updates. We're gonna let you guys ask us questions, do some Q&A. So we will be checking the live chat regularly.
Yeah.
And
we should designate like a time for that. We'll let everybody know, okay, now we're taking questions so that we're not having to like go back and look through the chat at everybody's questions. So we'll designate.
Good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
We're getting so professional here.
Trying.
Okay. So let's talk about some updates this week. We didn't even talk about this. We're just literally coming in and we're going to start winging it. So let's talk about Hugh Hefner passing away.
Kick the bucket. I try not to speak ill of the dead, just purely out of respect for the dead. But that's not to say that we have to sugarcoat anything either. But I personally, I never got a good vibe from him. I never revered him as any kind of an icon or a hero. I mean, he's certainly iconic, but for what? Being a slime ball? And listen, and I'd be really interested. I don't know if we even got his birth information, but he has, and we can confirm it because countless people, women that knew him, lived with him, slept with him, have reported that he has severe sexual dysfunctions, like hangups. Like he would never take off any of his clothes. He had huge issues with intimacy. And like, I really mean this. Like women would say that it's really, really hard to turn him on. And you know where I'm going with this, how I feel about this, because men in that position, men and women in that kind of a position of icon status and power, I believe that he was not only an MK Ultra handler, but probably an active and vicious pedo. Now, this is all speculation, you guys. I can't confirm this. I can't prove it, but there is a lot of circumstantial evidence to prove that he was not a nice guy. Is there circumstantial evidence indicating that he was a pedophile? Not that I know of. I'm just using my reasoning and what I know about the Hollywood elite. So,
yeah, I'm pulling up his birth chart right now. Just for fun. Was he born in California? Do you know?
I actually don't know.
Hugh Hefner born. I looked up the Queen Elizabeth too, her birthday.
Ew. I don't even trust those sources.
Yeah, great.
You know, like, ew. Like,
born in Chicago.
Spearheads in the house. We've got Anna. We've got, who else do we have?
All right. This is actually
oh my gosh, before I know this is crazy, but before we like move on to something else, I was actually having this conversation with somebody a few weeks ago about how before the inception of the porn industry, which I feel like Playboy played a huge role in it, the trend of women shaving off all of their pubic hair, I don't think that really was a thing until the porn industry, which was invented, created, and perpetuated by the Zionist Jews, the same people that run Hollywood and the same people behind the government, essentially. we know that, you know, the Talmudic religion condones pedophilia. So what I'm getting at here is that I believe that the trend of this, you know, the bald genitalia and women, you know, all in Playboy, it's all about like, you know, to me, that's like some prepubescent stuff. Grown women are not, you know, that's like, do you know what I'm saying here? I know I sound kind of weird, but I don't think that there's anything, I just felt like that was a push in the direction of like, that's just not natural. You know what I mean? Like children, prepubescent children have hairless genitalia. Women naturally do. So I just felt like, you know, the whole thing is just so degenerate is what I'm getting at, is just degeneracy all the way around.
I'm not going to comment on that because I feel like no matter, like I get what you're saying.
I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like you can do what you want with your hair. You know, I don't care what your personal preference is, but in terms of normalizing it and making it this kind of ideal thing, how that's the way that it should be, actually it's not. It's a trend invented by some pretty disgusting, corrupt people, and I question it. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
I don't care if you wax your vagina or you go full bush, none of my damn business. But I do question these people behind the porn industry. Deeply question it.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that.
Yeah,
like who started it?
Yeah,
you know? I probably would have started something like that. Only for chicks though, because that's just.
I mean, if that's what you want, that's fine. But it's almost like it's the standard, like it's the norm, and like it's abnormal or not normal or not okay for a woman to have. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just making that up, but that was something that kind of came out in conversation recently. Like all these women are made to look like little girls, 10-year-old girls, 11-year-old girls. Like, what's sexy about that, you sick fucks?
Jenny's on it today. She's on it. Okay. All right. So, yeah, his chart's awfully interesting. Once again, here we go. He's got the Clinton chart. He's got Jupiter and Mars conjunct in Capricorn. He's got Moon conjunct Venus in Aquarius in Purva Bhattapadra, Venus in Satyabisha. That's all the Clintons. Everybody has that, you know, his Sun and Mercury are in Pisces, Rahu's and he's just like the rest of the patterns in, you know, and Moon conjunct Venus. People that have Moon conjunct Venus, they're just very good at speaking to women. You know, it's women will be just.
Well, you know what it was, Heidi, is he's a handler. He's being laid to rest. God, I can't even speak. Like I can't even dignify this guy because I think he's such trash. But they're burying him next to Marilyn Monroe, who was the presidential model or one of the original monarchs of MK Ultra, Project Monarch. He was a master level handler, Hugh Hefner. He was extremely manipulative. He knew how to speak to women. You're absolutely correct. But it was entirely controlling. It had nothing to do about compassion or being reciprocal in any way. There was nothing healthy about it. It was extremely toxic. He just ran, you know, the lives, controlled these women, played them against each other. In the Playboy Mansion, if you're 27 or 28, you're asked to leave. You're not it's like turnover. You're replaced with a younger, newer model. There's nothing healthy about that. There's nothing, you know, I mean, I know that it's a cutthroat industry and, you know, that's the way that it is, but I don't see how that culture contributed anything positive to the world. And the Playboy Mansion, all of those mansions are actually connected underground. There's tunnels underground. And so I wonder, you know, the grotto, how it's just filthy. It's filthy.
Yeah, it's true.
So, I don't know if you're looking at chat.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm not going to go into what I want to talk about because I'll probably just lose everybody. It's just the norm. I mean, I think things are heating up still with North Korea. I still think everybody needs to stop being so mean to Trump. I think that, you know, I was watching Liz Wheeler she made such a phenomenal point. What she said was Islam can now drive, right? Where's the Women's March on this? That's one hell of an achievement for, women that live in a country that's so used to that. Now they can drive. They used to have to basically ask for permission to go to the doctors to leave their house. Now they can drive. And, she was like, where's the Women's March on that? And it's so true. So
yeah.
That's like all my comments for today. I think things are going to happen very soon. With North Korea, once again, I just keep watching that chart and I'm not backing down on that. So,
I mean, I definitely see things like that happening too, because we look around and what's in the news, something about the flag and something, I don't know, like it's all over social media. It feels like it's just another contrived distraction. What are they doing while we're looking over here? They're conducting fuckery over here. Sorry about the language, you guys. I'm kind of amped up today. Don't know why. I don't know why.
I can tell everybody why. A little transit hit thing going on too. Everybody, just so everybody knows, this is like a tense 2 days. Okay, it's just, even per Western astrology, they'll say the same thing. It is, things are, Mars are like getting ready to be conjunct in Virgo, or Mars and Venus are going to be in Virgo. This is sidereal zodiac, just so everybody knows. The nodes switched, Jupiter switched into Libra. So there's just a lot of change. But right now, this is a good time to manifest things. And, I do believe that this is a good time to start new things, new projects, just have a whole new start. So, and maybe something that you haven't done before, something that you have not, you would easily do and change in your life and modify. Now you have a different opportunity. That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Mike Lambert, get out, leave, just leave. I don't like your stupid comment.
Who is he? Let me see.
I don't know. No way. A woman's body is beautiful and all that hair blocks the beauty of that wonderful area on a woman. It's also way more practical when it's time for a woman to receive oral. You can leave. You can cut that stupid shit out, or you can leave. Because it's not constructive. It serves no purpose. And who are you to say anything about a woman's body? Like, ew. Like, ugh. I banish you. Go away. Gross.
Oh, Jenny, you're so funny.
Next.
Okay. So, yeah, we have a big switch. Saturn still 28 degrees, Scorpio. It is still, it's at that last tail end, 2 degrees. I mean, finishing up all that karma that we've been dealing with, wherever Saturn's been sitting in your chart. It's in Scorpio. So wherever Scorpio is in your chart, it's definitely still a little frustrating. So, but lots of new change, lots of new things to look forward to. Jupiter and Libra, I think, is going to be really nice. And just a couple housekeeping things. Should we start questions? Let's do a couple questions. Does anybody have any questions? Because if you have any questions and you ask me on Facebook, this is actually a good time to do it over here, because I don't answer questions typically on Facebook. So
Susan Vaughn, anybody can have another opinion. Anybody is entitled to their opinions, but it's not constructive. And it just doesn't serve any purpose here. You know what I mean? Like, why are we talking about oral sex as being like any kind, like, why is that even being considered? Like, that's not what we're talking about. So it is obviously everybody, listen, we let so much go. People say whatever they want. We never say anything. So, and I said, either cut it out or leave. So yeah, not fair. Get out of here.
I'm putting in the first birthday that I see, but can you see if there's any questions?
She said, poor Michael has a right to his opinion, I think. Absolutely, Susan Vaughn. And I have an opinion to tell him to get out. So that's what I think about that.
Jenny's on fire today.
No, I just don't have patience, I think, today, right now. I just don't have patience. You guys know anybody's like opinions are fine. Free speech is fine. I'm not about censorship or anything like that. But if you say something stupid, expect to be called out. Like it works both ways. Yes, you have free speech, but I also have a right to tell you that you're fucking stupid.
Oh, you're funny.
All right, questions.
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. Let's see if there's any questions.
Does anybody have any questions about, let's see, what are we in? September. September's finishing up. We're going into October. Halloween is coming up. We're talking about doing a Halloween special over on LP with Rex. What I'd love to get into is the history of Halloween, like its origins, what Halloween really was before corporate America turned it into this huge just free-for-all, the candy companies and all that stuff. I mean, they had Halloween decorations out like a month and a half ago. It seems like it's earlier and earlier every year. So what I wanted to get into on LP when the time comes is like the real history of it, the pagan history behind it. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. So, all right.
So just so you know, obviously the people that donate a lot in the live chat, if we see that first, that's who we're going to go with. And I actually know somebody that donated last time. We didn't do the chart, but I don't even know where to find the birthday. So Elva, if you're in here, just write your birthday in here because I did acknowledge that you donated last week. Did we have any questions or we no questions? And
somebody wanted to know our thoughts on the natural disasters taking place. So like, let's see, hold on. I wanted to, because I think that's good. I wanted to hear your thoughts on that. Because you were dead on about, I mean, we did the reading for we did the show with Rex a couple weeks before the eclipse, and you called the drowning, like the water. You know what I mean? Like you called that. So
I also said it wasn't over. I said, you know, I've heard this from, you know, and this is what I've learned from a lot of astrologers. So it's not like I'm going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, and this, you know, I learned certain things from certain astrologers. Joni Patry, she's best with world events. You should subscribe to her. I've learned a lot from her. She's actually on my YouTube channel. We have an interview here. She's one of the best astrologers I know with world events, the things that she's predicted through the months. And she did a show here on Trump, Putin, Russia, North Korea. I've been watching North Korea thoroughly, obviously. But yes, the drowning is something that, you know, is happening. And this literally, like John Hogue, he was on my channel, same things. I mean, these things are whatever kind of astrology you look at, you can see this stuff happening. And I do believe that, yes, it's in the charts. I believe it's going to be worse. I don't think we're through it yet. I think this is the start. Like I said, Saturn's still at 28 degrees. The Gandanta degrees that I talk about, they are 2 degrees in the water sign and 2 degrees in the fire sign. So Gandanta, which means drowning, means when a planet is in those degrees and switches over. So it's at switches from a fire to a water to a fire. Do you see?
Okay.
So what that means, Saturn's at 28 degrees. That's still the big beast. You know, I think that Saturn one that's more government stuff, but you know, it's still in Scorpio. It's still in Scorpio moving into Sagittarius. It's still cleaning house. So I still do believe that, you know, it's not over. I don't think it is. I mean, look at Puerto Rico, guys.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
look at Florida. Everybody was like, oh, at least it simmered down. And I mean, it was moderate compared to what I thought it was going to be, but it's it's not over. Okay.
Right.
B, you know, so when I still say, if you hear it's coming, just be very cautious, take the precautions, don't be like, oh, I'm going to wait this storm out. Why take that risk if you don't have to, you know,
right.
Still get hurricane insurance right now. Let's look at it from the practical way. If you live in Florida, probably not a bad idea to buy hurricane insurance. I said that to my mom on her house in Florida, you know, because she didn't have it. And, you know, just because the hurricane settled down, I still think it's till November. So we have to be cautious.
Well, somebody brought up a good point that the storms are man-made. Hybrid Healing said that. We know this, but HARP and the geoengineering and weather warfare and things like that. So it's definitely going to get worse because they're not going to stop anytime soon. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say about this, like specifically Hurricane Irma, was this has come up before, is that the past, pretty much ever since the news of Pizzagate broke last year, very late last year, a lot of deaths took place in South Florida. High power attorneys, really high profile attorneys found dead, completely untimely, totally shocking. Beaten to death. One guy was beaten to death on Hollywood Beach and then shot in the back of the head, but it was a suicide. My point is that, and he was actually an attorney investigating a fraud case related to the DNC in DC. So there are a lot of South Florida connections. The Clinton Foundation, the Podesta Squad, his henchmen, pretty much anybody that is loyal to or closely affiliated with the DNC has a lot of henchmen on the ground in South Florida. Now, South Florida, namely the Keys, which is the southernmost point of the continental U.S., is as close as you can get to Haiti and all of those islands there. Okay, and now if we look at those islands, and I'm not saying Haiti in particular, because Haiti was devastated by the earthquakes, which can be argued that those were geoengineered. The point that I'm getting at here is that there has been so much devastation with these storms the past month or so, and including the Keys. The Keys are leveled. You're not even hearing about this in the news. There are bodies in the street. Last I heard, the death count was up to 90. Nobody's talking about that. It's completely leveled. I think that what they might have done was, steer this storm, feed this storm to take out that line. The Keys, there's all kinds of evidence there. You know what I mean? And it's just like all these deaths took place in South Florida, all these people getting taken out because they're investigating the DNC. They're getting really close to the fraudulent happenings and the elite pedophile rings. So I'm thinking that Hurricane Irma serves many purposes, one including taking out evidence of these rings, whether they're locations, whether they were people, whether anything that was going to be investigated. It's not there anymore. Okay. So these are just things that I think of was now, the Clinton Foundation already destroyed Haiti and they're still stealing money from Haiti. But then, the islands they utilize these foreign countries to carry out a lot of this depravity because it's not the continental U.S. and there's not that many eyes on them. And now these islands are devastated. And so the evidence is gone. And again, these are just speculations, just so everybody knows. I'm not reporting the news. I'm just giving my thoughts here. So yeah, and I really wanted to say that publicly.
Hey, if you donated here though and put make sure you have your birthday information, like too. I saw somebody else did the 11/11 one.
Yeah.
And I don't think I saw your birthday. So make sure you stick it in with the live chat. Month, day, year, city, time, and location. And make sure it's spelled out just how it is. Like if you're from another country, make sure you write out your month so I don't mess it up. And then AM or PM, 13:38 or 1:38 PM. Make sure you have that written in, please. Okay, but another thing, Jenny, we can even do like we did last time, pull cards and stuff for
no
just for fun. Okay.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to start, and you should just one last thing to say. You should actually watch. If I do your chart, you probably should watch like some of the other ones too, because typically there's always patterns in the charts when I do the charts, the readings for the day. So I might say something about, somebody, and it might relate to you if you have the same thing in your chart. And also, plus we tend to bounce around when we do our readings. So we bring up other conversations as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So this person, the first one, 12/30/66, 112. This person is a Taurus ascendant in the nakshatra of Rohini. So this person can definitely like nice things, appreciate good things, art, food, you know, nice, you like, I want to say, what's the word? You value quality, you know, a quality meal, quality this, quality that. You might like, you know, luxury cars, or you might like your home nice. You might even be a designer. You might like your home designed a certain way. So Tauruses tend to, you know, be very stubborn sometimes. They can be, and very stubborn to get what they want, you know, when it comes to money and nice things. So they really kind of very creative. This is one of the most creative nakshatras. So Tauruses tend to go towards, I noticed, the financial fields, typically, depending on what nakshatra that you're in, financial fields, or sometimes even hospitality, business, stuff like that, money, finances, or sometimes I've seen real estate and design as well. So your moon is conjunct Jupiter, and your moon is in Aslacia. Aslacia is the snake, the serpent. It's in Cancer. So you have the way you think, the way your emotions are in Cancer. So sometimes you could be very emotional, and also it's with Jupiter, which is very lucky. Moon and Jupiter conjunct in Cancer is a nice conjunction. So this is the third house, the house of courage, hard work. So I'm sure there's a lot of effort that you had to put into things. If you're in business or something like that, you might deal with money, possibly. But Moon and Jupiter is a very nice conjunction as well for sometimes, what's going on here? Being very optimistic, you know, being very, you put your emotions and your mind really into whatever you create. The third house is writing. You might even be a really great writer, or work with contracts, writing documents, signing things, you know, just stuff like that. Also, though, it's TV, journalism, any type of communication. So you can be really good at communicating as well. Teaching things. Very good at that. But you do have Rahu and Ketu in the 6th and 12th. Okay, so this is kind of hard to have. Okay, so when you have Rahu in the 12th, you will be obsessed with 12th house things. Okay, your focus is going to be 12th house things, and it can be spirituality, it can be hospitals, jails, prisons, asylums, letting go secrets. It can be a cult, absolutely. It can also be photography and film and production, stuff like that, and foreign cultures, foreign countries, foreign lands. So when you have Rahu in the 12th, you probably don't sleep well. You're going to have a fascination for, you know, conspiracies, figuring out the truth, figuring out, but it's in the nakshatra of Bharini, so maybe even death. You might have you just want to know about death and what happens when you die, especially in the 12th house. So,
can this borderline, because like I feel like I can relate to this. Is it like that there's almost that danger, that warning of getting too caught up in like the shadow side of life? Yeah, illusion, fantasy,
right?
You know, the inner world and all that.
In outer worlds, yeah. Sometimes.
And outer worlds, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely, and that's where you learn your lesson. It also can give you the practical side. It can give you hidden enemies, but it's good at like kind of fighting your enemies. It's okay with. It's like you're okay with it. But like I always say, you're going to do a lot of letting go. There can be a lot of death in your life. Like you deal with that a lot, you know, or it doesn't always work out that way. You could have went to jail for a night. I mean, it's like little things. So
I mean,
transit, I'm going to go with, okay, so K2 and Rahu did switch. So you had some focus on career for sure in the past year and a half, between career and home life. And your home, you might have moved, you might have, focused a lot on either your family, your home, property, ancestry, early foundation. It can be your mother as well. And then 10th house. So now things shifted. That's over. So now your focus will be on, I would say, yours could be relationships, but it's going to be 9th house things, relationships, 9th house things, which is maybe Travel, long distance travel, religion. It can be, taking a class, taking some higher knowledge, going back to school. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there what these things could be. It might just be traveling and using communications, and it could be something with your mother, though, I'll say.
Okay. So in terms of what's going on with this person right this minute, because that's what my intention was. I wasn't looking forwards. I was just kind of trying to get a snapshot of what this person's going through right now. And there's quite a bit of, there's some problems right now. This person's experiencing some problems. I've got some, I've got lots of wands and swords. There's, we've got the 5 of wands and the 5 of wands and the 8 of swords. Those two together, it's fighting. It's huge fighting. It's differences of opinion, differences of viewpoints, and those things. It's not always that bad when we disagree. Okay, people can disagree, but the problem here is that it is impeding on some major life decisions. Okay, it's like when 2 people disagree on something, and then it really counts because it's an important thing to disagree on. And then we have the 4 of wands also. But with the rest of these cards here, it makes it what's known as ill-dignified, or it's my version. It's a version, not my version. It's a form of a reversal, the way you read the card in reverse when it's ill-dignified by the cards that are around it. So again, we have the 9 of swords and the 3 of wands. All these cards together kind of they change the meaning of each other. And to me, this just looks like this person is having a really hard time with an individual in their life. It's actually more than an individual, because the priestess card is here. So this indicates, you said something about the mother. This is primarily a feminine card. So this is an issue with a woman or a feminine entity. It could be some kind of, the priestess also is about secrecy. Okay. Sometimes it's about the secret world. It's a little bit challenging to put this into context right now. But all I can say really is that this person is dealing with a lot of harsh words, a lot of there's, the 9 of swords is about when you can't sleep at night because the anxiety is so heavy. And then the 3.
Wait, I have a question. Could it be in-laws and fighting about in-laws? And
I mean, it would make sense. I can't confirm that based on these cards right now because I don't have any court cards, and court cards tend to indicate actual people. So I don't have any context from what, to kind of make that fit there. But, I think that this person may what's that?
I said, I ask you these all the time about me, and you're like, I don't see anything. And I'm like, come on, Jenny, pull another one.
All right.
Jenny is the best. I'm not joking. I have called her in so many cases for some called.
Well, we call each other, and we're just like, oh my gosh, help! Can we help each other? So. I'm just looking at the
let's pull our transits back up and see.
Yeah.
Let me say maybe it could be.
No, I want to see what the feedback is. Who's the name? Is this who's?
He says something, or if he, I don't even know if it's a girl or female.
I believe it's a male. Yeah, no, there's a lot of fighting. Let me see if I can try to isolate.
Wonder if it could be like spouse and relationships.
Well,
or it could be work.
I feel it's hard for me to say that it's a relationship because the priestess doesn't indicate to me that it's a romantic relationship. This is more about ideas, like concepts, like it's more of a concept. It's like a different, a fundamental difference of concepts, of understanding, of perception. You know what I mean? And that causes huge strife. When you just do not see eye to eye with somebody and it's important that you do, I mean, that sucks.
Partnerships, business, I'm trying it all. I don't know.
It's a female. It's a female.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe it's marriages, maybe, it could be there's a lot it can be right now. I'm just saying.
What we'll do, what I'm going to do right now is instead of looking at that, I'm going to look at what this person needs to focus on and then what they need to avoid. And I'll just do that really quick. And just so everybody knows, because I feel like I need to say it, I apologize for my outburst at the beginning of the show. I was totally triggered by that comment. There is just not the right time to talk about oral sex. Like there's a time and a place, and I can always take a joke. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm not a prude. I'm an open book. I can, talk about anything. That was not the time or the place. That was just stupid. And I'm sorry about that, but I'm kind of not. All right. So okay. Ooh, okay. So this is cool. So this actually kind of breaks it down really nicely. When we look at what she should focus on, we have the Queen of Wands, and what she shouldn't focus on or what she needs to avoid is the Queen of Swords. Now, if this is a female, which we've established that it is, this is literally, oh, I'm sorry. What's going on here? Okay. So this is somebody, the Queen of Swords, you're familiar with the Queen of Swords, Heidi. Very
hard. That's me.
Right. The Queen of Swords, especially here, because this is the avoidance part. This is what this person needs to avoid. This is encouraging you to avoid taking action before thinking it through, because the Queen of Swords will hit first, ask questions later. And she can be petty, she can be vengeful, she's all about power, authority, she's not very nurturing, she's not the most loving person. But the Queen of Wands is far more about understanding and empathy and compassion. She's very calculated. So this is an encouragement to think more. Think before you speak. Think before you act. Maybe this is for me right now. I actually don't know.
That's me and you.
Right. You're like, stop being such a bitch. Oh my God.
Oh shit.
That's so funny.
Oh God.
Okay. All right. So I hope that helps a little bit.
Oh gosh. There we have some foreign money here.
Foreign money, is that pounds or euros?
I don't know.
Do pounds exist anymore?
I don't know. But so the person donated 1111. I didn't see your birthday yet, so I hope you put it in there. Then somebody donated. I noticed there was another one. There was 5. So did you see the 5 one? I put that birthday in. Let's just move to that one.
Okay.
12183. That's the birthday here.
Okay.
Okay, so you are a Virgo ascendant. So Virgos are very, you're ruled by Mercury. It's very perfectionists, critical, analytical. You like things done a certain way. Sometimes you like things very organized, but then, I've noticed that sometimes Virgos, it's like they want this, but they procrastinate a lot. Sometimes they can. But you, I would say maybe not so much, because your moon is in Aries, and your moon is in the nakshatra of Aswani, and that's all about, jumping in to deal with things. I mean, it really is. And 12, 11, 10, 9, it's in the 8th house. Okay, so let me just think a little bit more before I start rambling to you. Okay, so you have your moon in your 8th house, and when you have your moon in your 8th house, you have a lot of focus on 8th house energy. Okay, so sorry, I just have to get some notes here. And the 8th house is, it's death and rebirth. It's disgrace. It's control. It's endings, career change. It's also addictions. It can be great astrologers, anything secretive, hidden mysteries. It can be all the secrets. So law enforcement, CIA, FBI, it's, your moon's there. So you're going to have an obsession with all those things, period. And in addition, I would say it could be some separation from the mother, maybe, or maybe some sort, maybe your mother had some of those things happen to her. But, that's something you'd have to look at a little bit more than, well, maybe there's something with the mother, because you've got Mercury and K2 in the 4th house. So definitely something with the mother. I don't know exactly what it was, but, But a Swanee is the risk taker, the way you think. You're like thinking about taking action. And you know what? You could very well, though, work in a hospital and be a nurse, you know? So this physicians, surgeons, medicine people come out of this nakshatra and you think that way. You might have even wanted to be a firefighter or, you know, just jumping in and goes for whatever it is to get what you want. So, and yours is a lot, and it's the eighth house. So, you know, I would say you're a great investigator too, but you're ascendant, a detective too. Jupiter and Scorpio in the third, you might write, be a phenomenal writer as well. Or real estate, I don't know, this is hard to say, but you're a Virgo. Okay, we just can't get too much into this right now. But Uttara Falguni is all about contracts, deals, you know, maybe even sometimes it can be politics. You know, you could be very interested in politics, fifth house things, government, helping women. I don't know, I'm just saying things that are coming to my mind. Maybe helping women, healing women, could be coaching. There's definitely some focus in the fourth house, work, career, and happiness and being happy. There's a lot of that going on in your chart. So how old are you? 83. So you're always going to be focused on your career. That's like your obsession. And there might be a lot of unfulfillment in how you feel and about your happiness sometimes. So it can be a lot of voids there. But you're probably very focused on your career, and you know, it can be a lot of good success when you have Rahu in the 10th. Maybe you do something in IT or writing. I don't know. I'm not good. You're a creative person. There's a lot investigating. Transits though, you have, okay, so you were just dealing with some 10th house things, career change, possibly some career shakeups. Could have been some promotions as well, but I would say career possibly. And
well, let's look at career then. And when we talk about things like career, I feel like that's such a
hold on. My transits didn't go over. Hold on, time out. Take that back. Hold on. Yeah, no. You were just going through Rahu in the 12th. I'm sorry. So endings, some big change, a lot of self-reflection. You wanted your space a lot, possibly. Moon in the 8th is somebody that's very private with their emotions. So I'm sure you were amplifying that during this time. Could have been health stuff too, but any 12th house matters. So now Rahu's moving into your 11th house, and that's going to be a lot better. It can be great for money. It can be great for using your networks, group circles to, you know, those type of things. But Saturn's been in your 3rd house. Maybe you had siblings, or I don't know. It's just kind of hard to say. But Saturn's going into your 4th house. You might move in the next few years. Maybe you had some health things or some. It was once again, Rahu in the 12th cleans house. Okay. It's right. Went through a year and a half of cleaning house of whatever wasn't supposed to be in your life.
Okay. So we'll look at that. We'll look at the concept of endings and how that is affecting this person right now. Okay. In what realm they're being most affected by endings. And what I wanted to say earlier was that, you know, the ancients didn't have a concept of what a career was in the sense that we have now, you know, where you join, you know, you work for a company, you give them, you know, 10, 15 good years, and that's called a career. Back then, it was more about what you did productively to contribute to society, to your village, to your community, whatever it was, what it is that your trade was, your craft, what you do in the world, how you manifest. So when we're talking about career, even now, I don't take that as, oh, how's the job going? You know what I mean? Like, how's work? How's your coworkers and your boss? Like, that's one type of career. Okay, there are other things that people do also. People work for themselves. People, you know, figure things out. They live off the grid and they don't have a career, but they have a way to sustain themselves, or, you know, that sort of thing. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. But let's look here at endings. What this person is gaining and what this person may be saying goodbye to, what's detaching for this person's life. So we'll look at what they're gaining and what is they're being detached from. Okay. All right. So this is interesting. When we look at what this person's gaining in terms of an ending, if they are experiencing an ending right now, the Ten of Wands and the Princess of Cups. So now these two cards together really make me feel like this person is deriving a sense of strength, of real strength, like when it counts, like when you're up against it and it's not convenient anymore. They're deriving a sense of strength from being vulnerable. And so whatever is happening right now, the Princess of Cups, more as a concept than an actual person. The Princess of Cups is an idea. She's our most vulnerable, creative, softer state. She's the, she's represented as a very young woman or childlike mentality. So, I mean, it looks as if this person is gaining a hard lesson. The Ten of Wands, this comes up a lot for us. It's that feeling of being unprepared, like biting off more than you can chew. But there's quite a bit of strength to be gained from that. And now what they're losing, what's detaching, the Princess of Wands and the Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups is all about being let down in relationships. The feeling of like not having any more to give. It's an emotional thing. It's not necessarily
money.
No, because there's no disc cards here.
Okay.
But that's not to say that it couldn't be related. It's just that the cups are so, it's emotional. It's emotion. But then the Princess of Wands, again, as a concept, this is a mentality that's leaving. And the Princess of Wands, every time I pull this card, this is like someone who is extremely spontaneous, has really great creativity. They get inspired really easily, but they're also a little bit flighty. This is the type of person that doesn't, it's that mentality where you're like, I'm not going to take your shit. I'm going to like leave. You know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. So there was something that I wanted to say also. Actually, I'll save it.
Oh, here we go. What were you going to say?
Happy birthday, Lynn. I'm just scrolling through the comments. So somebody made a comment a few minutes ago about how, we were talking about vaginas and that it was, pretty much too much to ask that sex not be brought up in the chat because we're talking about vaginas. So what do we expect, right? But we were not actually talking about vaginas in any sense other than to illustrate how the porn industry has desecrated and degenerated the concept of sex and sexuality and has taken the female form from what it is naturally to something else. So I don't think it's too much to ask, and I don't think the bar is too high. When we're talking about we're talking about genitalia in reference to pedophilia being pushed on us through how we groom our genitals. I don't think it's too much to ask at all that you keep your dick in your pants. Like, seriously, there's a time and a place. You can't control yourself. What's wrong with you? This isn't the place for you if you can't control yourself. Just because somebody says vagina doesn't mean you have to like helicopter for us. Like, seriously.
You're so funny.
We weren't even talking sexually. It was actually an extremely unsexual conversation. We were talking about what they're doing is wrong and it's disgusting. So I don't think that standard is too high at all. I think his name was Black Magic. So I'm talking directly to you, Black Magic. Not a high bar at all. If you can't control yourself, like, go somewhere else. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Yeah, guys, and if you can't handle it, don't
if you can't handle it, if this is too mature of a conversation or we're dealing with concepts that are just a little bit too much for you and somebody says vagina, so you have to be like, ooh, like, grow up. How old are you?
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. So
and it's not my channel. So, it's not
you cracked me
my
up.
channel, my rules. It's not my channel. It's Heidi's channel.
Who
So
said that?
I don't know. A bunch of people are saying, my channel, my rules, but it's not my channel. So I'm not trying to like assert my authority here. I'm just saying,
Jenny, you're allowed to do whatever you want. FYI.
Thank you.
I don't care.
I don't know. Like just be mature. Like, there's always a time for joking and saying, obviously always say what you feel, but what we were talking about was not sexual at all. I was talking about how weird it is that, bald vagina was this recent trend, and there's nothing wrong with it. You groom yourself how you want to, but it's not a guy's choice. I don't care how you prefer your vaginas on a woman. Like, nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares how you feel about it. Ugh.
Okay. This is so funny. All right, let's do this one. Okay, this is 1470. I think so.
Just be respectful. That's all it is. But if you're disrespectful, I will embarrass you.
Yeah, Jenny she's got a vicious side. You think she's so sweet.
Everybody's like, oh, yeah, so kind and bubbly. Like I am. I really am. That's how I prefer to be. I like to be that way. But if you show your ass, I'm going to show you the door, and you're going to feel really stupid.
Oh, that's why I love you. Okay. Can you just, I hate reading these. I can't read and do all this at the same time. It's so hard. I'm going to start turning on my phone, and I think we're going to have a hotline, like old school.
Oh, yeah. My phone is like burning hot right now. It's so super weird.
Yeah. Okay. So this person is, definitely, this is a Capricorn ascendant with Mercury in the first house. So, you're a good communicator, and it's all about, I would say, putting things into action. And it's basically, it can be music or government, or it's, Capricorn is all about just doing things and getting them done. Now, Mercury is sales and communication. It's also writing and contracts. It can be all that stuff, speaking, speech, every way you can communicate. But mass communication, mass to the masses and stuff in a very dutiful law and order way could be something that, you're like the boss. It's like, you have the rules. You don't like to break the rules. Maybe not all the time. I'll say that that's not always the case, but it's all about being righteous and responsible. Capricorns are hard workers, and they are all about right action, right thing to do, and they're extremely driven. Can be workaholics. So what if you like something, and then Rahu and Mars. I wonder if you're in politics or government or something. I mean, you could be, or you must really like it. Or, okay, and you have a moon in Scorpio in the nakshatra of Anuradha. So you think how I act in a way. So even though you're like this law and order business person, you have this soft emotional side to you as well. That is all about being a good friend to somebody, and about just
as you said that, just wanting to confirm what you're saying is that just as you said that, these two cards came up, the Lovers and the Ace of Cups. So that's somebody who's really, obviously very good to their friends, like genuinely, and always like they'll put relationships and like being a good friend first.
Too nice. Like you're actually too nice, and then you can have people that are women that can be your enemies. And, and just stupid stuff, or it could be siblings. It could be, I don't know. It's all over the place, but you have Rahu Mars. When you're pissed, it's like, watch the hell out. You can say some intense stuff. They can really make some heads. Yeah. That may put people feel like, it can be good, but it can be very, when you want something, you go for it, the warrior side of you, for sure. So, and Moon in Scorpio, it's very emotionally, you're just very passionate. You just want to help people. You want to understand why we're here. You want to know all the secrets. You want to, just be. You're a great psychologist or psychiatrist, and you want to know the psychology, how people think. And transits. Let's go with transits now.
I feel like this person's really helpful.
Yeah, this one's a good one.
Really helpful. They try to contribute, not take. Yeah. There's a lot to be said for people that are conscious of that. Even if you know that you take a lot, knowing that you're a taker and that you need to be giving more, that's huge.
Okay, so you have Sun conjunct Venus in the 12th. Okay, so there is a lot of endings in your chart too. So, or you could work for the government, and philanthropy or help women. Once again, same type of thing. But I'll say this: professor, maybe teach, something like that. Judges, law, maybe even a lawyer, that's something like that. But K2, and you have K2 in the 8th. And right now, let's just say this month, it was probably a very intense month. You could have had, when you have K2 and Rahu in the 2nd and 8th, there's a lot of focus on money and childhood. It's early childhood. It's also.
Could it be money for small kids? Like the expenses of small children?
It could be, it's all kinds of expenses. Any kind
little kids are expensive. Well, all kids are expensive, but
it could, definitely could. It also, so I would say this though. You've had Rahu and K2. Well, you've had a rough, to say the least, I would say a year and a half. Definitely a lot going on. And it could even have been money. Now it could have been you got an inheritance, because it could be that way. But unless you're a surgeon or you work for the CIA or FBI or the mafia, it probably wasn't. Could be astrology. If you're an astrologer, it could have been great, stuff like that. So lots of transformation, death, then rebirth. Once again, 8th house things. So now K2 and Rahu are in your 1st and 7th house. That's a lot of change. Let's just, K2 is going to want to do a lot of reflecting, and you're going to be kind of confused on what you want, but there's a lot of focus maybe with you and relationships, marriages, partnerships, business partnerships, business, international business. It can be stuff like that. And if you're single, you could marry somebody that's from a foreign land. You could meet somebody. And you're going to have a great year with your career. Lots of expansion with career. You could have changed jobs. So lots of great things and opportunities will be happening to your career or your publicity, how you are, to society, business, stuff like
that. Okay. So I kind of want to look at, for some reason, I want to look at like travel, expansion, not so much like finances or anything like that, because you don't necessarily need to have all of your finances in order to kind of get a change of scene, even if it's just temporarily. But you did mention something about traveling, and that kind of struck a button with me, even if it's just a vacation or even the start of some kind of it could even mean like their transit every day, like the actual transportation. Can you tell me the year one more time?
Of what? The year of
birth?
1970.
Okay.
It's a woman.
Okay. So a couple things keep coming up. The Knight of Discs and the 9 of Cups. Now, knights can be people, but they can also be concepts. Then the 9 of Cups next to that, 9 of Cups is about family relationships, This is about, you know, getting together. And it's just like 9 is almost completion because 10 is completion. 9 is just before completion. So this, and then that with the Knight of Discs feels like somebody that would be enjoying, like really enjoying the fruits of their labor. So even if they're not in this position where they're totally financially comfortable, those 2 cards indicate to me that there is actually a level of comfort here because they've worked. The Knight of Discs is a hard worker, diligent, practical, consistent, persistent. And then the 9 of Cups is family. So that kind of looks like to me somebody who is, they share, they're always helpful. We talked about that. This person's really, really helpful in relationships, family relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. So this is somebody that's done a lot of work for other people and likes to share a lot of what they've gotten. So I see them enjoying that and coming into that. And the possibility for travel also is indicated by the Fool. It actually came up twice here.
You could be a nurse. Wonder if this person's a nurse.
That would fit. That would fit a great deal. Because being a nurse is a hard job, man. I don't know if I mean, that is some, I have so much respect for nurses, like in particular, nurses have always just, whew, I love them. They're amazing.
Yeah, but Capricorns can do it. Like my mom's a Capricorn.
Oh, yeah.
She's a nurse. You know, I mean, there's a lot of Capricorns, you know, doing the right thing. It's like you just take on a lot of responsibilities. Capricorns are the ones that jump in, handle the details.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, they're not.
You know, no, and they have a practicality about them. That's the discs. That's the Knight of Discs here. Again, just right there, all up in my face. But, you know, as opposed to being emotional, the Capricorns that can handle things that people like myself cannot, where I'm just like this like puddle of emotion. The Capricorn gets it done. It's like no time for emotion, no time to like lay down and cry about it, get it done. You know what I mean?
Now it's time for rest, right?
Is that the 9 of Swords?
Yeah, but it's reversed. And that's, remember, it's resting, right?
Yeah. Well, the 9 of Swords reversed is good things coming from bad things. Good things coming from the ending of bad things. So yeah, rest. It's like, you know, it's not a continued battle as much as it is like cleaning up, making sense of what the hell just happened. You know,
that's what happened because you had the 8th house going in, Rahu in the 8th house.
It's introspection too. It's reflection. It's reflection on what has come, what has gone, what has transpired, make sense of it. The 9 of Cups, again, focus on your family relationships, focus on the healthy relationships.
She said we're spot on. Good.
Oh, really? Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. You know what? So also this live chat doesn't save. So if we've done your reading, please make a comment once it downloads. That would be awesome. So we can, I would love to know who the 2 assholes that disliked this video were. Like, I would just love.
Probably the 2 assholes that I called out for being immature pervs.
Okay, it's all right. But anyway, don't dislike my videos.
Right, like on account of what I said. Right.
No, don't get me started now.
Like there's so much, Heidi, like people say things all the time. I don't care. They can say what they want. Oh, you know, whatever. But like we were talking about, my hot button is pedophilia, like the elite pedophilia. Like when we're talking about kids and we're talking about that whole thing, it's not a time for jokes, you guys. That's not a joking matter. There's nothing funny about it. So if you want to piss me off, make a joke at the wrong time. Make a joke about anything related to that. Be immature. Watch what happens. Okay, so this one, this could be totally off because you gave your time. I hope this is right, but this is 7/22/61. Oh, she's a caregiver. Makes sense. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. We're never wrong. Very helpful, very giving, very generous. That person's a rock. You know the type of person who is just a complete rock. They can handle anything that you throw at them emotionally because they are just so steadfast. Yeah. I love it. I wish I was like that. Oh, thank you, Violet. We gotta put this one in. Donated. So we need your birth information. She wrote it here. We got it. Oh, okay. All right. 8/14. Thank you for putting it in military time.
Okay.
Military time. Love
No,
it.
that's great. That's how my software needs to be. So that's perfect.
Oh, that's great.
My phone's on military time.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're weird.
It's so I learned it. There was no other way. I have to put myself in the fire, you know?
That's funny.
Okay. So I'm 1 degree of a Pisces. Like if they had your birth record, okay, you're an old soul. You grew up fast. We'll go with, this is 7/22/61. Okay. You'll be next, Violet. 7/22/61. Pisces, you're going to be very on the cusp of like Pisces and Aquarius. So I would say your ascendant's in the nakshatra of Purvabhada Padra, which is one of the darkest nakshatras. So
yeah,
this is like, you know, the person that can do rituals. It can be spiritual rituals, whatever kind of rituals you want to have. Definitely powers. They can go, you know, you have a dark side, to say the least. And you can tap into that. It's not means you're always going to, but you have it, and you know you have that gift. But Purvabhada Padra is also somebody that's like a humanitarian, wants to help, whether you want to help or do bad. It's like, you know, it can go either way because it's one of those dark nakshatras, again, but it's you have. And if you're not that, then I'm going to say your time might be off. And this is where, you know, probably not the best reading to do live on the air, but I'll do what I can. K2 in the 12th, you like your space. You really, really like your privacy. It's all about, you know, solitude. Like, you know, you feel more comfortable alone sometimes. And if you don't have your space, it's tough. You can connect to outer realms and, you know, dream world for sure. If you want to dream, lucid dream, all that kind of dreaming stuff is very good for you. Rahu and Mars in this. You could have a lot of enemies, I would say. Unexpected day-to-day work life, you might deal with helping people, healing people, jumping in the fire and saving people. It could be anything. It could also be real estate or contracts, and I don't know. This is hard to say on the fly, but your moon is in Vishaka. Vishaka is all about personal breakthroughs. You know, it's in the 8th house. Whew. This is like not the chart to do here on the live because
is it really like conflicting?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So it's, you know, I could say, I don't want to say something on the fly that I'll say this. I'm going to just bring up, you're here learning moksha. It's like your last life, you know? So there's a lot of let goes, but it's okay with it. You can actually handle it, to say the least. You handle it in a very diplomatic way. Like you can easily detach from things. And it wasn't always easy. Don't get me wrong. It probably was not like that, but you've learned to be that way. Good writer, good at communicating. You're always searching. You might be really good with technology, and you might work with foreign countries, foreign lands, foreign things. You might like foreign women. You might like foreign cultures, foreign countries, and do business with foreign countries, you know, so something of that sort.
Okay.
Or you might just really like astrology and
well, I think if they're here, they like astrology. Pretty much everybody.
Not necessarily. No.
Not necessarily.
You know, I don't think so. But you know, I would say you're a seeker. You are an investigator. You just want to know things. I can tell when the charts have came from like Rex's channel, or you know.
Oh, right.
You know, so this is, I would say, you're definitely one of you want to know the facts, the truth, you know, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And transits, pull a card for. Okay, you had a big K2 return, lots of 12th house, 6th house, same thing. So, you know, self-sacrifice, hospitals, jails, mysteries, talents, hidden talents, imprisonment, expenses, losses, yoga, meditation. You could have just hopped up and went to a foreign land and meditated. You know, you could have been that. You just wanted serious isolation, serious space to regroup and rechange, redo, all that kind of stuff, whatever it was.
Okay.
And now I'm going to say this. Look for, now Jupiter's in your 8th. So what do you do for a living? Are you in this chat room? So I can just stop like bantering around and see.
It's Deb Star, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, just as you said, the 8th house, I pulled the 8 of Cups.
Should I read you all the 8th house things, Jenny?
Sure, yeah.
You know, and another thing it can be is addictions. So 8th house is endings, career change, sexual attractiveness. It's sex, death, inheritance, sex, secrets, investigation, astrology, occult, major change, transformation, control, mafia affairs, obstacles with in-laws, obstacles with the law, taxes, government spies, deep-rooted issues, death and rebirth, mortician, insurance, metaphysical things, psychics. It could have been like health things too, you know, long-term illness that you might have dealt with, possibly. I don't know.
The 8 of Cups is...
I got the 8 of Swords.
Oh, wow.
What is that?
That's interference. In my deck, it's known as interference, but that's about things being impeded on. That's things coming, like, just, that's differences of mentality, that's arguing, that's, you know, things coming up that you're not prepared for. And then the 8 of Cups, so 2 8s. I mean,
we got 8th house matters going on.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's just
Jupiter is in his or her his chart. I don't even know if this is a guy or a girl.
I believe it's male.
Okay. This could be.
No, I'm just looking at the comments here, see if we're getting any feedback. Feedback really helps. That's why I love my, you know, our readings. I really enjoy what I do because I love to talk to people. I love to, like, you know, it's just awesome co-creation. But and that's why these readings here are a little bit different. They're kind of stressful. But the 8 of Cups, indolence, this is about dissipation.
Father.
Well, I did pull a Prince card, but it's about
father, siblings.
There may be some issues with the mother and the brother. Mother, brother, mother, father. The Queen of Cups, that's the authoritative female, very nurturing, understanding, maternal, authoritative. The Prince of Swords, not so much. The 8 of Cups is kind of about giving up, walking away, having no more emotional drive, no more motivation. It is a card of addictions and vices and things like that, but kind of being done with it and not getting the same thing out of it that you used to. And the end of, you know what I mean? Like just walking away from something. Right. This is the walking away card. This is about getting to the end of it. And you're just like, I just don't feel the same way that I used to.
It could be money, like with inheritance, with family money, estates. Could it be that?
I don't have any disc cards that would indicate to me that it was anything financial or material.
Mm-hmm.
This is primarily emotional.
Okay.
Emotional and also psychological, because you pulled the Sword card. And so this is about, you know, that's all about psychology. That's about, like, you know, the mind, ideas, thoughts, patterns, things like that. Sometimes it is about transactions, like legal stuff, official stuff, contracts, you know, legalities, authority, positions of power.
So maybe even a job change, career stuff.
Yeah, it could be that. It could be that. And then the 8 of Cups could indicate being done with a job, being so over it, done with it, hating it, losing your job, getting fired. It doesn't look like there's getting fired because there's nothing here about things being abrupt, but it is about just kind of that. It takes a while. The 8 of Cups takes a while for us to get there. It's kind of like a slow, like, drying up of the emotional well, if you will. It's like little by little over time, you just start to care less and less and less.
Yeah. T-E-R-E-R-Y. Last one here, I think.
Okay, and then we'll do some Q&A. Nothing too, like...
T-E-R-E-R-Y. Why aren't you coming in, you jackass?
Nothing too personal. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. I'm like saying nothing too personal, but I like will volunteer like terribly personal information on a whim.
Why can't I find the city? Monterter. Oh, I'm an idiot. Terry. Oh, somebody needs to go back to spelling class. Reading.
Oh, goodness. I'm so glad that it's Friday.
Yeah. Okay. I go to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's like, this is my Sunday.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so when everybody says they like Sunday, I'm like, or they like Friday.
That sucks.
Like my week is just beginning. Okay. So Capricorn ascendant, like I said about the other people here, there's lots of Capricorn energy here tonight. So Capricorns are hard workers, they're disciplined, they're organized, you know, their whole worlds could be falling down and, you know, still going to just be fine, act fine, not necessarily be fine, but act fine. Your ascendant is okay. So your rule for the sun, you've got 3 planets in Cancer and Aslacia in the 7th house. So, you know, this is all about being in the limelight, doing something that's, I would say, you know, in the public. This also could have to do with relationships, partnerships, Sun, Venus, Mercury, somebody that can act, speak, smooth speaker, charisma. It's very lucky, trading, you know, just business oriented, very goal oriented, not so much, doesn't necessarily mean business oriented. It could be like you have your mindset on something and then you just go for it and you just know how to use your networks, group circles to get what you want.
Heidi?
Yes?
Can you just specify again who we're reading now, please?
We are reading Violet.
Violet, okay.
Okay.
And her birthday is?
8/14/87.
I love the name Violet. So pretty. Okay, 8/14/87.
You know, you've got, wow. So this is interesting. This is like, you've got this, another thing about Cancer, Aslacia, I'm going to read you about it, my notes on Aslacia, because you've got 3 planets here in the 7th house. So, like, this is people that act, actresses, people are in the public, in front of people, you know, selling things, doing things, making people look better, fixing them up, you know, marketing geniuses, people that are good with designing. It's also, it's all about goals. It's the serpent. So even Kundalini, you know, energy type of things. Don't ever kill a snake, just so you know. Sometimes people will say maybe you're a little cold, or say you break up with somebody, you know, it could be, or you end a relationship, or they could say, oh, she just used me for this and then she was gone, you know, something like that. But that's not really what you were doing. You were using whoever this person is in your chart, the 7th house things. It could be partnerships, marriages, or whatever. I mean, it could be that. So you're using that energy in that way. But it's great for foreign business, foreign lands, you know, doing business, selling things, writing, being in the public, pleasing others, you know, doing things like that. You know how to like use, you're probably attractive and you know how to use, you know, that skill too. I just think something about you're helping women and helping something look better, design.
Be a makeup artist, hairstylist.
I mean, it could be, but okay. So then you've got Rahu in the 3rd in Pisces. Okay, so maybe you have some issues with siblings. You had issues with siblings. If you don't, then I'm telling you once again, this is somebody that's good at sales. good at contracts, good at negotiating. So I'm going back to that, design, you sell something, you do something with sales and marketing. Let's see here. Your chart is kind of, your chart is not the one to do on the fly either.
Violet's here still, let us know what's going on. Give us a little bit of feedback. That would be nice. Anything. Be like, you guys are totally off the mark or you're on the mark. It helps. It helps.
Yeah. There's certain charts that I'm only going to say certain things on here because it's like, these are things when a real reading from me is, an hour long. It's definitely a lot more in depth than this. I studied the chart before. This is like to show people that, this is true, it works, and that this is real, and to get a taste of it, either A, because maybe you're hesitant about it before, getting a reading. And Jenny's readings are a lot different too, not than this. So she's way more generous with time. Jumps through hoops for people, and she's great. And she's always dead on, just so you know. I call her for my readings.
That's saying something, you guys, because Heidi is
a very complicated individual.
You're a real tough client, Heidi. Oh, by the way, Violet is in sales. We can confirm that.
Oh, thank God. Okay, well, that helps. Okay.
That helps. It really helps a lot.
Oh, it even could be like medical device sales. Okay, so that gives me some guidance. Or something with, pharmacy sales, something with that.
I was thinking like hot tubs.
Hot tubs, really?
Like sell something to do with like something for the home, something that's like a luxury item of some kind, a specialty luxury item.
It could be. You're right, Jenny. It definitely could be.
Sales and pre-owned designer bags. So that's a luxury item.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
See how we're like, it's so crazy. We go, oh my God, this is so funny.
Don't you love it?
We're good at this. Okay. We are, and we work well together, and it never fails. This is why.
Well, how about me in my life? I'm just like, to like my loved ones, the people around me that spend all this time with me, I'm like, I'm never wrong. I am right about everything, no matter what. I know that that's not true, but I love to say it.
But you are.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, for me, you are.
Right.
Like you are all of the time.
I'm not even saying it. Like, I'm just, yeah.
Okay. So, yes, but you are definitely, you have this wonderful Moon Jupiter conjunction, but it's in Aries. So you can be definitely, the way you think is very, like I say, optimistic, but you go jump in, get things done. You've got you got 2 planets in Aries, coach, sales, you're jumping in to help people. You're probably rapid fire salesperson. Like you're definitely a good salesperson. But you have also this Mars in the 8th, good investigator, good detective, somebody that you have Saturn and Scorpio in the 11th house, like somebody that would love astrology, somebody that would be phenomenal at astrology, and just doing spiritual. You have a spiritual chart. So that's definitely there. Transit wise, okay. So Rahu has been in your 8th. Lots of 8th house things, endings, career change. It could be, that's what you were dealing with. A past year and a half, 18 months. It could have been a lot of change, death and rebirth, getting rid of things, can be all types of those type of ordeals. Now you have a focus on relationships and partnerships for the next year and a half. If you're single, you're definitely probably going to meet somebody. If you're married, it could just be some chaos, with the marriage. It can be, or just going through some, trial and error, to say the least. And oh my God, you just had your Saturn return. Yeah, that's fun. You had a rough 2 freaking years, guarantee you. No matter what happened, you learned a lot the past 2 years. Big, big change. It's still not done yet, so you have a little bit longer. You're really probably feeling this Saturn stuff right now. So your Saturn's in your 11th house, and the 11th house is gains. It's friends, network, group circles. It can be side ventures, winnings. I mean, the 11th house stuff. Okay. So it's not, it could be older siblings, just all those types of ordeals. So when Saturn's been there transiting, lots of shakeups, probably with friends, cleaning house with friends, groups, networks. You could have made money in the past few years, but lost money. It's like going to go up and down. But you're a Capricorn, so Capricorns are really pretty Saturnized. So it might not have been that bad for you, and it might have been a good thing. So Jupiter's in your 10th house, sales will be phenomenal for you for the next year and a half. And this could just be, you do really great with work for sure.
Can I say, I really want to chime in because that's really what I was getting to. It does. Okay. So it's weird because it almost looks as if it feels as if the work and the love thing kind of overlap. So like if she's doing really, really well in one, that like leaks over, carries over into the relationships and vice versa. 8 of Wands, Ace of Cups, 10 of Cups, the Chariot, and the Emperor. Let's look over here at the Chariot and the Emperor. This is structure. This is career. The Emperor is the male. It's the patriarchy. It's structure. It's Saturn. Actually, it's Mars. I believe it's Mars. But in any case, as the control structure, it's that Saturn, the construct. It's the empire. It's the empirical, the empirical forces in our life. And the Chariot, this is my card of the unification of all these all these ideas coming together. It makes me think of like managers, management positions, bosses, leadership roles, people working as a team, people working as a unit. So this almost feels to me like it has something to do with work and the career. It also could be a significant other because the Emperor is the husband and the boyfriend or, the baby daddy or whatever, the guy. The Emperor is the male counterpart of the Empress. The Empress being the mother, the wife, the nurturer. But then, the 8 of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the 10 of Cups. Ace of Cups and 10 of Cups together is just a slamming combination when we're talking about relationships and romance, okay? Because that's that newness, that's that rush, that satisfaction, feeling like everything's totally cool. And the 8 of Wands in this position looks like an email, a text message, something that comes on really, really fast, something that hits you out of nowhere. It's like this is the card of ideas that come on really, really quickly. And it comes with a lot of energy. You didn't see it coming. Maybe you did see it coming, but in any case, it's fast. So this is like news. This is news that comes really, really quickly. And it looks like it's going to trigger some kind of a very favorable emotional response. And so I do feel like this is relationship, maybe not career. I said career because I felt like the Emperor was the structure, like, the bosses, kind of like the hierarchy at the workplace. But I do feel like with all these cup cards, this is about a relationship or maybe even like mending fences where there was discord before. So maybe there was a lot of misunderstandings in a relationship. So this could even be like some people coming together for the sake of kids or people coming together for the sake of peace. You know what I mean? I'm actually going to look here now for some feedback, see if we're like totally.
Heidi looks like she needs a nap. Yeah, probably.
Hello, well, it is Friday.
Is anyone? Yeah, Rex was born on 4/20. Ha ha ha. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
That,
yeah, no, that's funny. So, okay. Does anybody want, because there were actually some cool questions here if I go back up, but to save time, do you want to finish this or what do you want to do?
Let's pull a few cards and like give us what we think about the week's going to be like for everybody.
Oh, sure.
Because we have, all of our group people, right? So it's going to be the same energies. So this is what people are going to this is how people should act, react, focus on how to get through this week for everybody.
Okay, just a sec. Violet, because Violet just said boyfriend and her were having problems. I think that's going to stop. Because the chariot is coming together. It's like people getting their ideas together, getting on the same page, unifying all of those different opinions, those differences coming together in a unit for one cause. And then it is very much, the patriarchy. So he may be a controlling person. He may be a really controlling guy, wants to control the situation. But in any case, I mean, the Ace of Cups and the 10 of Cups indicate that it's not going to bother you. It's not going to be like this nasty, horrible thing where you feel trapped.
Could she leave? She could possibly leave.
I don't know. I didn't get that, but I mean, we didn't look that deep into it.
Okay. Well, here's what I'll tell you. That's definitely relationship focused, and it wouldn't surprise me if it is bad, because it might not be, but it might be. It's somebody that's different, that somebody could come in and it could be completely different than what you have now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just so you know, I have to jump off here in like 15 minutes. I have a reading.
So we pull 3 cards apiece and we're going to intertwine them.
Okay.
All right. Oh, go figure. Surprise, surprise.
So we're doing it for...
We're just doing it for the week for everybody. We're going to give them some advice, and then I'm going to use my astrology, and you're going to use cards. What kind of message we should give people? I know it's very big, but we can do it.
All right, let's see what we get.
And this is for everybody. So maybe this is, situational.
Just to assign some kind of some parameters, because it's so easy that this will get convoluted so quickly with tarot. You have to outline definitions. So look at what to avoid, what to focus on, and like an oracle card or a general card. That's the message. The general card is the message, and look at what to focus on, what to avoid. Because otherwise it's just like, you're just
yeah. No, and I'm going to look at the charts with this. So okay. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
All right. So just so everybody knows, these are some things that can happen this week. Just some intense energy, let's just say. All right. So this is, the moon's going to be in Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Okay. We're going through, like, once again, lots of changes of beliefs, changes of beliefs, and getting the truth and the facts is what I think is going to be going on. Okay. So there is going to be a lot of, I would say, discontent, in my opinion, events this week that just can stir people up. Okay. That happens all the time, but more so intensified, I think, this week. It's going to happen this week. This is a big, intense week, I think, personally, with when it comes to like law and order, the right thing, the wrong thing, like how people were doing that kneeling thing. These type of triggers. So sometimes there could be like battles of the masculine and feminine, Mars and Venus are close together. It's just a lot of like weird, energy that can be very tense. So you have to not think about what has happened in the past. I think these cards to me look like moving on to better things.
Wait, what did you pull?
Well, the Knight of Cups.
Oh, okay.
And then the 7 of rods, or whatever the hell those things are called.
7 wands.
Wands. I call them rods. Wands. Yeah. And that to me is like, working hard and blah, blah, blah. And what I pulled as the reverse card, kind of what to watch out for is it's the 7 of Pentacles reversed.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, that's about like feeling real insecure about material things, unsure about the stability of the country, the stability of your community, the stability of your life, but strictly materialistically speaking. So you got 2 7s?
Yes.
All right. So that makes sense, because a 7 is a very transitory.
Sorry. Take that back. 6 of Pentacles.
Oh, the 6 of discs. Okay. That's actually, okay. So the 6 of discs is more of a lucky card than the 7, because the 6 is harmony. The 6 is beauty.
And it's reversed.
Oh, well, I don't do reversals.
So I look at that as, this is like this guy I'm learning tarot, guys, just so you know. I look at this like this is a guy feeding the hungry, right? He's feeding these people, and he has the scale that makes me think of a Libra, and he has a judge outfit on. So that makes me think
he has a judge outfit on.
Something like that. So he's, feeding people and helping people. It's reversed. So I look at this as watch out for like sketchy things happening, like with officials. I don't know. That's how I see it. Like that's what
I get that.
With officials, and this is like I don't know. I don't know. It's just from what I think from what I look at the astrology, I'm saying I think things can come out. It's going to be about taking sides. It's going to be about same thing like last week, but this is even more intense. And let's just not lose focus and stop trying to be divided. Like I say, the more you learn, the more you listen, stop judging everybody. I look at that as stop judging people. Stop judging. My advice for this week for everybody, not like I'm anyone to give advice, but I'll say this. If everybody would stop judging people and being such assholes, this world would be a better place. Live your life, do your own thing, not get in everybody's business. I think that's a great idea because then the business won't, affect you so much. If you can learn to let go and listen to all positions and not judge people for what they believe, not judge people for what they do, not judge people for the color of their skin. Me, I'm about the most unracist thing that ever walks the earth, right? Literally, I am. And I will say that, this country is divided, but is it divided enough where we have to go do things like and have those protests? I don't agree with that. I just don't. And if you think that's bad, I'm sorry. I don't think there needs to be a huge blow up about it either. So, there's things that are just respectful. It's like everybody tries to make a fuss about everything. And when I watch that news, it's like, I cannot just give Donald Trump a break. He's doing a good thing. Okay. And I'm saying it again. And nobody talks about all the benefits and all the good things he does. They just bring out all the negative shit. So it's pathetic. I can't stand it. If anybody watches this, they know until I am proven wrong, like I say, I will stick my foot in my mouth if he is a horrible person and does what everybody thought he would do. Okay, the tax things coming out, the tax breaks are coming out, all these positive things. Nobody gives a shit. The market's improved. Nobody cares. These are things like that should be brought out. In my opinion, I'm going to say it. I can lose subscribers over this, but I'm so tired of hearing like such the negative shit on him. It's beyond annoyance. And I don't even know how this changed to that, but here we go. You had the start up and I had the end. Anyway, go ahead, Jenny.
So when I look at what to avoid, we've got the 10 of Swords, which is ruin. Okay. So everybody avoid ruining your own lives. No, but really what this is more about mentally getting yourself out of that trap where it's all about negativity and it's that doom and gloom kind of mentality. Whether it's yours or not, it's being pulsed onto us by the media. Okay. The media wants us to believe that it's the end of the world right now and that things are really, really way worse than they are. And I'm not saying that they're not bad because I know that things are bad. But when we're talking about the message for this next coming week, I want to tell people to avoid that mentality because it's not doing anybody any good. 10 of Swords is rock bottom, you guys. It's when the roof caves in, the bottom falls out, and it's like beating something to death. So it's kind of like, it's like what you said, stop focusing so much on what everybody is doing wrong. And then here, when I look at what we're supposed to focus on, this is actually really funny because you and I did a reading and there was like a positive thing but a not so positive card came up. So then this is an example of a time when a card with more of an inherently negative meaning actually can become positively dignified. It's well dignified, which makes its meaning better. That's the 7 of Swords. Okay. And the 7 of Swords is, in its natural state, the 7 of Swords is about severance. It's about sloppiness. It's about, half-assing things. It's about separation. you know, trying something, but not trying hard enough, and something just continually like slips out of your fingers. It's a card of futility. Okay, so this to me kind of feels like everybody just needs to relax a little bit and to focus on maybe on working on that detachment, because it is a card of severance. So work on detaching yourself from the drama. Stay focused on you. Stay focused on your life. Stay focused on the things that you need to, because right now there are so many traps in place set up to distract us and to make things really hard for us, that it just pays to focus on the positive things and detach yourself, sever yourself from that mind trap of like, it's just doom and gloom. And then when I have here, this is kind of the overall message for the week. It's the Prince of Wands. Now, I just intuitively feel like this is Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is the lion, you know, he's the fire, he's the solar, and
Knight of Wands. I got
the Knight of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's like a forging forwards of ideas, of concepts. It's brashness. It's uber masculine. It's very hit first, ask questions later. But the thing about this card in this position is that it's more like, see his point of view and maybe don't, you know, take everything that you're hearing and seeing with a grain of salt. Yes, he's flamboyant, flashy, very brash, very hard to digest, not the easiest person to take on. You know, his energy is very insulting to a lot of people. Not myself. I'm, you know, there are other things worse in the world than a guy who's, you know, just kind of egotistical. But in any case, everybody needs to realize that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than what CNN is telling you or Fox News is telling you. And so I really get the sense that it's not as bad as people are being led to believe that it is. And so, yeah, that's what
great. You know what? That's Jenny. That message is so great. I always say, like, what do these people have to, I mean, why get caught up in all the drama? I mean, seriously,
they're just people. They're just people.
Yeah. No, like I always say, Donald Trump's not going to call you and ask you what you want for dinner. He's not in your life like that. It's right. People have these, you know, just like focus on things that can improve people's lives, can better society, not focus on all the negative. Stop doing these freaking, I'm sorry, these protests are just like, you know, they're just out of control. Don't people have jobs? I mean, it's like, that's how I look at it. I wish I had time to protest. And I know people will get mad when I say that, but like, instead of protesting, go help people. Go down to a food bank and donate some time to people that are really up Schitt's Creek. I mean, this is what people need to do. Not right. Sit around so they can open up their mouths so everybody can hear them talk. I mean, it's just like, it's like a big freaking psychology session. Get an astrology reading if you have that many problems. Like, you don't even have to get it from me. My point is, go get an astrology reading. Once you understand yourself, once you understand what's really going on with you psychologically, I swear to God, everything else goes away. Everything else changes. Once you understand who the hell you are, why you're a mess, and accepting it, and accepting your demons, accepting what has happened in your life, accepting your past. That's the only way and the best way to get over all the shit.
Well, right. I mean, the Seven of Swords also is one of those cards that it's like, it brings to the surface the fact that some things are unavoidable. Certain things have to come to an end. Certain things have to be brought forward. And it's really uncomfortable. And it feels like you're just totally scattered and everything's falling apart. But it's also kind of just like it can't last forever. It's very transient. 7 is very transient. It's transitory. So it always, 8 is the next step after 7. And that's stability, that's structure, that's control. That's that sort of, that vibe, that energy there. So,
that's
all right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So again, you guys, I just want to say I'm really, I can't say that I'm sorry, but, how else do you say that? I apologize. I just, I'm triggered by certain things. Like if it's not constructive, it doesn't make any sense. Like it's just, that pissed me off pretty bad. Everybody that is like really you know, they watch us and they support us and stuff like that. I'm sorry if I upset anybody with my outbursts. But it's obviously only directed at like that one individual. So not directed towards anybody else. So with that being said, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. And I hope you guys got something out of this show. Heidi, thank you for having me again.
Yeah, to book a reading with Jenny, it's jennymoonstone.com. That's how you get a hold of her. She's also on Facebook. And for me, readings, oneofakindbyheidi.org. by Heidi.org. So thanks for watching, everybody. And if we didn't get to you, I'm sorry. Once again, since people started donating, we have to do those charts first.
Yeah, that kind of changed the game a little bit, but I think everybody understands.
And to get a full reading, this is not a full reading. This is like a quick mini read. So hope everybody has a great week. Stay positive, relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Bye, Heidi.